Her grandparents had met during World War II. Tootsie and Pops had met. She was a nurse from the States and he was in the army, and they met in a hospital. And they fell in love and they got married in this beautiful church on a hill in the Sertique Valley. So for me, that was the story. They were coming to relive history and get married in this exact same church. So my name is Emma Wilson, and I am the creative director and founder of Story of Your Day, which is an international wedding film company. I started 15 years ago in the UK. That's where I used to live, that's where I'm from. But we moved to Switzerland 10 years ago, and so now based in Switzerland, Story of Your Day, we film weddings all over the world. So I'd say we're destination wedding film company. I fell into the wedding industry and wedding videography. I'd never heard of wedding videography. I hadn't had a wedding film or wedding video for my wedding. I was working at the BBC for 20 years as a journalist, newsreader, reporter, and I was on my second maternity leave. A friend of mine who was also used to work at the BBC, had left the BBC, and she was a wedding photographer, and she said to me, "I think you'd be really good at filming weddings." And I thought to myself, I can't think of anything worse. A few weeks later, a friend from work asked me to film their wedding, and so I thought, well, fate, coincidence, I don't know, but I really enjoyed it. And then I did a couple of friends' weddings and family, and I really enjoyed myself. So for about 3 years, I stayed at the BBC and also started Story of Your Day until it got too much. So on a Saturday, I'd be filming a wedding, and then on a Sunday, I'd be reading the news. So it was really, really random. And I had to make a decision, which is it going to be? I chose to concentrate on Story of Your Day. My dad didn't speak to me for 3 months, at least, because he was my #1 fan at the BBC. But the independence of that meant that we could move as a family to Switzerland. So Story of Your Day not only gave me creative freedom, but a different way of living.
What do you love most about filming weddings? Yeah.
Telling stories. I'm all about telling stories. And you know, we also have talked about trends, and I know that people say wedding films, they'll tell the story of your day, etc. Well, when I started out, story was not a thing. It wasn't a statement. It wasn't what everybody says. Now everybody says, I'll tell your story. Even sofa companies says, I'll tell the story of your sofa. Ironically, I don't like the name of my company. My dad came up with it when I was at the BBC, and it was perfect at the time. It's so fitting for me that I just have to stick with it. So for me, it's all about telling unique and individual stories. That's what makes me tick.
So can you describe this like your signature style or approach?
I'm trying to transport, or I am transporting all my clients back in time. They become time travelers. They get to go back into the past and experience and relive their wedding as it was. My USP is purveyors of time travel through cinematic storytelling, and that's exactly what I do. So I forget about the trends. I'm not into perfume style advert films. I'm into telling the story of that client, their couple, and they just so happen to be getting married. I film people, places, and love stories, and they just so happen to be getting married.
What makes Switzerland stand out? Yeah.
Having come from the UK, but regardless of that as well, Switzerland is 5-star, but it doesn't shout it, right? It's discreet about it. It doesn't have to say, I'm luxury. Everything about Switzerland is luxury. The venues, the nature, even the cities, and down to service, logistics, all the trains. Travelling in second class is like travelling first class in many countries of the world. Everything about Switzerland is luxury.
How does the landscape enhance the stories you capture for couples in your video?
It's all about the landscape. As well as filming weddings, I'm also an elopement photographer and proposal photographer as well. And when people come to me for their proposal and elopement stories, it's about nature. It's about being out in the mountains, on the lakes, in the hiking trails. It's really, really important that people have that vision and that they appreciate that that's what Switzerland has to offer. So if a client comes to me and says, I would like to propose with the bright horn in the background, and by the way, I'd like a floral arch, I'm going to say, I'm not the right person for you, because you do not want to be blocking that beautiful view with a floral arch. And it's the same when I work with planners. They're aligned, they feel the same way. They want to make the most of the beautiful nature and backdrops behind them. And so I love to work with planners and vendors who, when they're creating that space, what they're creating complements the beauty and the mountains and the lakes and everything that Switzerland has to offer.
Can you share a wedding in Switzerland that was especially memorable to film?
It's a wedding that I filmed a few years ago now, but it still remains one of my most favourite. I had the opportunity to film 2 weddings one weekend, and I had to make a choice between the right client and the right fit. I had a wedding, a beautiful couple coming from the States to get married at a lovely hotel in Lausanne, 5-star hotel. And then I had Brittany and Ryan from Dallas who were coming to Davos, to the Sertig Valley, to get married. There was only going to be 17 guests. This was pre-COVID, so 17 guests was extremely small. Her grandparents had met during World War II. Tootsie and Pops had met. She was a nurse from the States and he was in the army, and they met in a hospital. And they fell in love and they got married in this beautiful church on a hill in the Sertig Valley. So for me, that was the story. They were coming to relive history and get married in this exact same church. So we did some pre-wedding filming. We went to the exact spot where Tootsie and Pops had their wedding photos done. They looked through the wedding photos. They even brought beautiful love letters, old love letters that the couple had written to one another during the war. I had them read these out. So as you can imagine, for me, that story was just so beautiful. It will always remain on the front page of my website. It is always fundamentally what I'm about. It was hard because there were only 17 guests, but it was beautiful.
But living in Switzerland, how do local culture and venues influence your filming style?
Well, when I think of local culture, I think about traditions. So this more works when I help vendors in my local area put weddings together, and we might have Alphorn players or the Treacler Club, which is the bell ringers, because a lot of my clients, 99% of my clients, they do come from the States. All of my weddings are destination weddings, so they're all from abroad. I don't really film very many weddings with Swiss people. So my clients want to experience Switzerland. For destination weddings, many of them are a couple of days long, right? So they want to also give their guests an experience so that they can do things in and around the wedding. So for me, bringing these traditions and the Swiss culture into their lives is really, really important. So when I'm working with planners, the other thing I do is I have a company with my husband called the Swiss Concierge, and that is not about planning weddings. That is me helping support planners who want to create excursions and experiences and help with the logistics and all those sorts of things. So some planners come to me, and yes, I'll be doing videography and filmmaking with them first and foremost, but then I hand them over to my husband who's in the travel industry, and he helps create these experiences for clients, and that's really important.
What are the top trends in wedding videography in Switzerland right now?
So frankly, I don't follow trends. For me, it's not important. What happens now when someone gets married now isn't relevant for when my clients look back and in time and watch their films in the future. And so I'm not interested in what's trendy. You know, for a while drone footage was trendy. I use a drone, but I don't use a drone as my starting point for a wedding film. I use it as punctuation to take you from one scene to another scene, because it can just look too corporate, too commercial. I just think the other trend isn't videography. It's for 18 months more and more people have said, I want a content creator, for instance. Now, I am a content creator, of course I am. I create content, as is a photographer, but in the sense of a content creator, I'm lucky I don't have a lot of clients that want that immediate satisfaction of seeing their wedding online. in Instagram. They're not looking for followers and likes. They're looking for a wedding and a wedding film. However, what I do now is I take that on board for my vendors because I know it's important. Vendors also need content. So now I put a phone on the top of my camera and I do behind the scenes without fail, but I also take vertical clips on my camera at all stages of the day, and I deliver that to all my vendors immediately so that they have something that they can share on their Instagram because I know it's important for them. But in terms of my clients, I am true to myself. I create timeless films that allow them to relive that day, to feel it, to actually experience it. And therefore, I don't worry about what other videographers are doing. I have niched down and my clients share that vision. The planners I work with share that vision for that client. Sometimes I'm a wild card. I'll be honest. Sometimes a planner will come to me and go, well, I think they want this perfume style ad. I think they want that. But I'm going to show them your work. And then that's how I've got a lot of my work recently. Clients realize they want something different. They don't want the same as anybody else.
Are there any filming or storytelling technique couples are asking for?
I don't think it's a technique. I think it's about getting to know that couple, working really closely with the planner, make sure everybody's aligned, building a rapport with that couple and making sure that they're relaxed when you're around, either with my team or either when I'm shooting solo. And just so that I can capture those moments as they unfold naturally. Of course, we're going to have the photo, video shoot element of the day, but it's all in the preparation, my techniques. It's about building a bond with the couple, perhaps filming with them the day before, also having a timeline and a call sheet, knowing exactly what's going to happen that day. That's inherited from my BBC days. But it means that when there are surprises or spontaneity, I can be spontaneous because I know exactly what's going to happen for that day.
How do you balance these authentic, natural moments with a luxury experience?
Working with planners, being engaged. The planner should know everything about their client if I'm working with a planner. And if the planner doesn't, I know everything about the client. And it's about making sure that I'm bringing out the best in what everybody is doing on that day. And I love experience. For me, the wedding is all experience and story. And the only way you can make wedding films that are different is when you work with people that create different experiences. I don't follow a template. My films are not formulaic. So therefore that luxury experience is having something unique and different. And therefore you have to work with the planner and the client to make sure that you can achieve that.
Which wedding was your favorite to film and why?
Without a doubt, my favorite was Brittany and Ryan's, just because of how beautifully it unfolded. But I also love lavish, not just weddings, but parties, filming parties and events when there's lots of performers involved and musicians, and everything is so immersive. That's easy to tell a story when a wedding is like that. Venues make a lot of difference. I filmed a beautiful wedding at Isola de Brissago earlier this year, and it was really beautiful to travel over to a private island and be on a boat and have exclusivity. When a planner reaches out to me and says, I have a client, and they say, these are the timings, I'm like, no, I need a call with you. Like, I need to know about the couple, what makes them tick, why are they coming here, what have you got for them that's out of the ordinary. That's the difference.
Do you think this is something making the most exciting part?
My most exciting part, I love people and I love my relationships in the industry with everyone I work with. You know, it can be a lonely business. So to work with people that you know and that you work well with, it's magical the next day when everything comes together and you're all really tired and you got home at 3 o'clock and then I've backed up all the wedding and then I've had 4 hours sleep and there you are and you go and see the planner and they're taking everything down and you're like, we did it, we nailed it, we nailed it. It's the most amazing feeling. But selfishly, I also, once I've delivered the film, that moment is very, very special when the client comes to me and they tell me how much they love their film.
Was was the most chaotic and unpredictable moment you have encountered?
While filming a wedding, my behind the scenes moment would be, it turns out there's 2 Chateaux de Lacs in France, and I normally do a lot of preparation ahead of the wedding, but I had a couple from the States that booked me within a week of their wedding. They gave me the wrong address. So I turned up at 9 o'clock at night to the wrong chateau, all shut down 9 o'clock at night, and then had to drive another 5 hours. Could have been worse, could have been much worse, but that was pretty stressful. Chaotic was probably quite recently, the one that comes to mind. I had a ski wedding in Wengen, where I live, in the Jungfrau region. And I probably think that I thought, all these thoughts, should have known the bride would come in a more appropriate dress. So we had the church in the morning, and then we were skiing in the dress and the suit. And then party in the afternoon and evening. Her dress was silk. It had no give, it did not stretch. It was between Christmas and New Year. The slopes were crazy mad busy. There was no snow left, there was moguls everywhere. We were skiing. She was picking up speed. She couldn't slow down because of her dress. She crashed so much. She broke her bustle. Actually, when she broke her bustle, it helped because she skied holding her dress up. But she had the best time. And then we did one final shot in the snow before we went off the mountain, where they threw the snow into the sky and the groom's ring fell off, which they only realised the following day. They came to me and said, "Did you notice when Jackson lost his ring?" And I'm looking through the footage and you see this ring glide through the sunshine and disappear. Next day we were out there digging in the snow, because we did a post-wedding shoot, digging in the snow, looking for the ring, didn't find it. I said, "I will come when the snow has melted in the spring." I dropped a pin and I will go back and I will see if I can find his wedding ring. Crazy.
Did you find the ring?
No, but I will go back in May.
What inspires your creativity?
People, their stories. You know, I learned very early on when I was at the BBC that the most important thing about every story that you tell is the character inside that story. That's something that I take with me everywhere. We have to place the character, the client, in a story. So it's a bigger picture, but the people that inspire me are my clients and their stories.
But how do you approach capturing emotion and personality on camera?
As I said, I don't do the perfume style advert films. You know, that one where the bride's looking in the camera and her hair's flowing, and then the groom's looking at his watch, and then there's the first look, then there's the dress, then there's the da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't do those. I do them for styled shoots when I work with planners, because that's exactly what you have to do, but they're with models. So I think there's this massive expectation, and I've written many blogs about this, you know, when did wedding films stop being about weddings and more about everything else and the production? My clients don't want a great big production. They want their wedding filmmakers to be discreet and not to be noticed. As I said, I build a rapport up with them. I often, because it's a destination wedding, work with them the day before as well. I do a pre-wedding shoot. That makes them more relaxed and natural. Therefore, I don't have to worry about expecting people to look beautiful looking into the camera. People are all different shapes and sizes from all different cultures, and we need to make sure that we cover everybody's stories and lean into that. This is my belief as a wedding videographer. Stop trying to deliver what these directories and big blogs are looking for, because ultimately we've got someone's wedding in our hands, and they need to look back in many years to come and look back at that and not think, what was I thinking? If I had had a wedding film and I'd done all that posing and flowing hair and all that through the wind, and my children, who are 14 and 18 now, watch those, they go, "Mum, what were you thinking?" Films are meant to be timeless, they're meant to be long lasting, and they're meant to give you that beautiful memory in real time, and you go back.
If you weren't a wedding videographer, what would you be doing?
So I'm kind of repositioning. I call myself a wedding video journalist more than a wedding videographer filmmaker. Journalism is in my DNA, right? 20 years at the BBC, 15 years storytelling in weddings and events, branding, corporates. It's hard to think that I would be doing anything other than telling stories, but I am already doing something that's different. I'm writing a book, a fictional book, from an experience that I had with my children on a night train to Dresden, and I'm telling you nothing more, but that's it. I've got a novel or two in me, so maybe that's what I'll be doing.